So we are back, my friends, and so we had like an awesome discussion about the world and politics, but we are here.
We solved world hunger. Sorry.
Yeah, we did solve world hunger, and so Montreal, but no one's going to be able to hear it. Montreal Rebellion are going to be evening this up. So what we were mentioning was that consistency has been an issue for both of these teams. So Mayhem Academy are going to be coming in here. They were inconsistent on Kings Row. They got to fix that here. Montreal Rebellion were a little bit more consistent on the tail end of Kings Row. They need to continue that going forward because the teams that are the more consistent are going to be the ones that find themselves on top of the standings. So Montreal Rebellion coming in here on point A defense with Goats. Mayhem Academy going to be doing the same thing, and they've actually already gotten onto the point.
Yeah, got the high ground right there, forced Montreal to go for that whole wraparound. Mayhem Academy, Fact Fiction has been a big player for this team in the past, Mangachu as well, but he's forced out of the fight so low. Whichever Reinhardt goes down first will be a big deciding factor, as they're fairly even in terms of ultimate charge right now.
So is it going to even up even more across the board? Is Montreal Rebellion's ahead on their Zarya and their Diva and their Brig? So they're looking good on defense, which can be expected. But hey, with one kill for Mayhem Academy, this attack is still looking strong, and they've actually already seeded the point. They've already seeded a tick. They're going to see potentially a second one, and now Nomi is going to drop down before he hits the ground, even with the particle barrier, is going to die. And so Mayhem Academy looking good.
I mean, they descended on him like a pack of piranhas. A murder of piranhas, a flock of piranhas. Not quite sure what terms we're using here, folks, but the fact is, Mayhem Academy, they went with a really big wraparound. We talked about these teams' inconsistencies in the past. A large part of it is their unwillingness to engage decisively. Both sides have fallen to that, play style multiple times, and right then, Montreal Rebellion didn't want to commit to the point. They went in piecemeal. Naga was the first to fall, then Nomi and Mayhem Academy now stomping into point B with, a pretty even advantage in terms of ultimates, but their heads are going to be in that place, coming in with confidence, right? When you have those mirror compositions, mentality is king.
Mangachu going to throw out the rally. Epps is going to have the Transcendence, and the Self-Destruct is going to grab Mangachu. So who are we going to start things off here with the 6v5 for Montreal Rebellion, and Mayhem Academy are going to see this. They don't want to give them any more ult charges to catch up, because Montreal Rebellion already looking good on that side.
As inconsistent as Montreal has played in the past, two bright spots certainly worth mentioning. Goliath, who we touched upon in Kings Row, a big fragging Zenyatta, able to finish a lot of kills, and then Tensa as well. The reason that we saw that self-destruct kill was because of his boop, displacing Fact Fiction's shield right there. So while Montreal Rebellion haven't been necessarily as flashy as Mayhem Academy with Maniton's 3K bombs, there is still a lot to work with.
Nomi got stunned and almost taken it out. The healing is there, but not for long, as he gets his Earth Shattered canceled. This is gonna be it, potentially, for Mayhem Academy. Montreal Rebellion, at least they know that 4 of their players are gonna come back at the exact same time, so the stall is gonna be possible.
And Montreal Rebellion have, or rather Mayhem Academy, they have a sound barrier and a shatter, but Montreal will try and run circles around them with Nomi's Hammond. Nice ally of shield.
And not only that, is I actually think the shield dash kept them from entering the actual objective, so the Earth Shatter not really hitting anything. Montreal Rebellion still using members here. Shaq's going to get first blood. Mangachu using the rally with the sound barrier. That means the armor is going to stay alive through it. Fact Fiction getting taken low, though. Mayhem Academy need him to stay alive. Good Transcendence coming in from Epps there. That's usually late coming from him, but right on time. 5-star review from that. Montreal Rebellion still losing members, and there's not much left on the ticks right now. Over 4 minutes for Mayhem Academy, but 2 kills coming from Montreal Rebellion means that they could stabilize. Naga and the rally making things a little interesting, but not for long. Mayhem Academy gonna take both points. There's, I think, like 3 minutes and 55 seconds left.
Plenty of time, the way that Mayhem Academy have been playing. A lot of intent as they move in. Off by a hair. But Mayhem Academy, they're firing on all cylinders right there, coming in very decisively. Even their big wraparound, which, kind of threw me for a loop as much as it did Montreal Rebellion. It looked like they were going to cede a ton of space. They backed all the way up to where Orisa's hold, only to charge back onto the point once they got that pick onto Naga. So Mayhem Academy, while you may talk about their inconsistencies, they're not maximizing value. They're doing enough to put up a very impressive time bank against Montreal Rebellion, who really just came into that last defense with such a disadvantage, having lost that point A so decisively that it was essentially a 1 point for Mayhem Academy. The only question now is how hard are Montreal Rebellion going to hit back?
And I think they're going to hit back hard. That's what they've done on Kings Row, and I think that's going to continue on right now. We've seen now teams either just... Last game was a really good example of this. Teams, as time goes on, get better or worse, or maybe they just stay the same, and another team just overcomes them eventually through their warming up of these maps. And Montreal has not been that in the past. They've tended to play worse as time goes on. And so let's see if this will be the case here for Montreal Rebellion. And I'm getting excited looking at these team comps.
Mayhem
That's
Academy
happening.
is on the defense, so they're all out of spawn. We are going to see Mr. Beat Boop, one of our favorite Bastion players. Mangachu. Indeed, you know the Omnic family. Eps with the Ana, of course, going to be great for all of that burst stealing to keep a very stationary bunker comp up and alive. Shax and Managin are going to be the ones playing keep away. You see Managin already on the high ground. Shax scouting. Montreal Rebellion going to swap up as well to the full Goats composition. Potentially Nomi going to stay. Nah. Hammond would not work very well with what Montreal want to run. Instead, it's going to be a dive. What you're hoping for here is a very fast and surgical incision into Mayhem Academy's bunker, past Fact Fiction shields to attack Mangachu, who will be the primary damage dealer for this defense.
Not going to use that Swift Strike to tactically reposition himself, trying to get to the high ground, and you're seeing Mayhem Academy rotate accordingly. Really good stuff from them. As I think the #1 decision is: do I drop? Do I stay on the high ground? If you're that Orisa, and right now there's no reason to drop, as you're keeping Montreal Rebellion from the point thus far.
But Epps getting put under pressure here. Oh, but the anti takes down Naga and keeps all of Mayhem Academy topped up and healthy.
Yo, this comp's just going to get stronger in this next patch, too. So this is going to be something we should get familiar with.
Look at the way that Fact Fiction and Mangachu are set up right now, using the map geometry, that wall. There's no way for you to really flank them without them catching you out. And they reacted to Montreal's dive textbook.
Yeah, and the other thing that we don't really talk about with Orisa is, while she's not super flashy, Halt is an amazing, amazing pick creator, right? You're able to get a pick, and let's see if we're going to see it right here. And he's going to be able to push in some damage and get his ultimate because of it. And that's how you're seeing the value. Sometimes it ends up in a kill, and now Hui is going to be brought out of mech, and that's really bad for them because now it's
We're in space. It's quiet. Naga is 93.
Unless you're screaming as Diva. There's like no sound out there other than the screaming Diva.
There's no air. She's made of magic. You wouldn't be able to hear that. And oh, the sleep.
There's no air. And so there's still no air out here. So they're going to be walking right back into this fight. Now we're going to be trying to jostle for position as they're out in space. Montreal Rebellion on the attack, figuring out exactly how they want to bring Naga into this fight. They really got to just hunker down onto the Bastion. Oh, good stuff from them, as F's going to be going down, and they finally do have an opening. Fact Fiction was stunned, but no, was hacked, but no longer. As Mangachu is going to get Naga. That was mid-air, I believe.
I think it was a halt, actually.
Oh, nice, nice. And so Mayhem Academy using that halt, using that CC to their advantage, is Mangachu going to get hacked out of his seat. And now we're seeing Logic's trying to get to that EMP. Montreal Rebellion, you know, struggling to make everything happen at once. But the spawns should be in their favor. Mayhem Academy are still holding on to the objective.
Yeah, piecemeal, Montreal Rebellion are dismantling this Mayhem defense. They're not real. Again, they could apply a lot more pressure because right now they're still trading. Naga has the blade, which could be a fight ender, but because the fights have been so scrappy and it hasn't been a decisive win, Mayhem Academy, again, have the opportunity to set up.
Hui has to throw himself off into space again. Mayhem Academy showing why this comp is still strong, even in this meta. If you can't move the Orisa, you're not finding yourself on the objective.
But EMP into Blade could be the decider here. You would hope to have a barrier or a nano to keep your Genji alive and healthy, but with only 24 seconds left, you gotta go now.
Here we go. Oh, a good stun onto the Genji Blade, and Epps did use... Epps used the nano. Yes, Goliath didn't have his, so Montreal Rebellion are going to be losing this fight. 10 seconds left. Mayhem Academy are going to show why everyone should play Bastion on point A horizon.
Don't listen to the ranked players. Mayhem Academy still staying strong, although Epps does go down, but it's a trade. Nobody available, and Mayhem Academy with the full hold.
Woof. Yikes. Feels bad are all things that would describe that offensive push from Montreal Academy. You know, we said it earlier, right? Montreal Academy is not one of the teams that tends to warm up. And we saw that right here. They had the momentum on their side. Yes, there was a halftime in between there, but it was on their side, and they did not do anything with it.
You get the Ana down. That's such a big advantage for, you know, a team that's running a Genji. You have a ton of mobility. You have a lot of self-sustain, actually, as long as your healers are alive themselves. But Montreal Rebellion, they just weren't quite sure at what point to press that gas pedal down. You know, pedal to the metal and just...
Common thing, really.
Sorry?
It's been a common thing.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, while Mayhem Academy, where maybe you could argue that they shouldn't have left themselves open, blah, blah, blah. But what ended up happening was they just set up time and time again, and as the attackers, it is your job to force them to move. Didn't happen.
So Mayhem Academy find themselves up 2-1, trying to stay undefeated. I actually just learned that Mayhem Academy, I don't know why I'm even saying this, but I'm going to do it anyway. They were actually up for a record. They would have been the first team to start out 10-0 in map wins in all of Contenders. I believe that record still goes to Giganti with 9 wins, but they did end up losing King's Row. That was the one that they needed for the record. But hey,
alas.
The thing about that, the fact that they were even in the record, yes, their strength of schedule not as strong as at least in these early weeks as some other ones, but they still did what they needed to do, go up 4-0 twice. Let's see if they're going to get the 3-1 here on this game. But, you know, we've had a day of Game 5 so far. What are you feeling? What's your gut telling you about this one?
My gut is telling me more beat boop. I wouldn't see why you wouldn't at least give the Bastion a go, right? Because, honestly, Montreal looked bamboozled by the Bastion. Not a hero that you play against very often. And when you do, there's some very select compositions that work well against any kind of stationary bunker comp. High damage, right? So you can't ever outlast them in a siege battle. But what you can do is use your mobility, use that precision that you have in your speed in order to take them down very quickly. So Mayhem Academy, they could certainly pull that out. And oh, nice. Wub actually going to be joining us. Very nice to see him here on the Mayhem Academy roster.
Subbing in for Mangachu.
So we might not actually see as much beat boop. Wub, known as a great projectile player. Montreal Rebellion, though, not making any swaps, really. But, you know, the ball's still in their court. There's always something to be learned, even if you're not necessarily going to take a decisive win. And there are places where Montreal Rebellion could certainly tighten the ship. And one of them is going to be that communication. You know, we saw it most obviously shown with the dive, but holds true even if you're going goats. And hey, Sir Hog! Love this. Mayhem Academy is going to have so much shield shredding potential with that Roadhog scrap gun at the ready, not to mention hook and kill opportunities.
No, I got so excited. I like literally waved my hands in the air as Logix was on Widowmaker for like a second. Oh, I love Logix's Widowmaker. Such good memories of it. Mayhem Academy with Wub. Actually, really, this is interesting because bringing the Roadhog up close means that you can dislodge these guys from the high ground, get a pick, and continue holding on up here. So, oh, that's exactly what they were trying to go for. The shield was there, but that cooldown's going to be up in about another 5 seconds, and Montreal Rebellion have made a little bit of progress. We actually saw in our last game, Second Wind handled this defense very well. Montreal Rebellion going to be doing the same thing right now as Wub. Gonna get taken down. A little bit of cheese never hurt anybody, but I like the idea behind it. If they were able to grab that hook, we'd still be on this defense.
Yeah, Mayhem Academy kind of just giving it up. It's very, very difficult to hold towards spawn in the best of days. Good news is Epps has that coalescence at the ready, so Mayhem Academy may actually keep him on the Moira, and we don't see the swap come through while Wub has picked up the Brig. So, you know, as big of a man as Roadhog is, very sturdy, he can still get shield bashed and taken out of the fight, and he's just a giant walking ult battery, so not a bad swap from Mayhem Academy either.
Well, he is, regardless, going to be an ult battery, as Coalescence is going to be shredding through Montreal Rebellion. The Earthshatter is going to go down. Fact Fiction and Manitin are on the ground. Manitin's still alive, so is Fact Fiction, who has an Earthshatter of his own. Shax is going to have the particle barrier. Oh, good timing on that Graviton Surge. Right after Shax's personal barrier went away, the Grav went through, and they were able to take Shax off the map.
Essentially a free Grav for Logix right there with Epps on the Moira. You know, Paintbrush probably isn't going to have built up sound barrier by the that time. So Montreal Rebellion now working with a great advantage. Mayhem Academy offered them a window and they crawled through it. So already making a lot of progress, Montreal Rebellion here, and they will have both support ultimates to continue this momentum into Streets.
Mayhem Academy deciding to hold at the point rather than trying to go after it one more time and potentially giving a ton of Streets phase away because of it. So
you want to hold here on the high ground.
Exactly.
Great positioning.
So Mayhem Academy do have ultimates. They have an ultimate advantage, but all you need sometimes are 2 support ultimates, and that's what Montreal Rebellion have. As Mayhem Academy going to go ahead and drop down using the particle barrier on their Reinhardt, who is back. So Mayhem Academy have that Earth Shatter. Let's see where he's going to go. They've got to make sure they keep him under check. So if the big Shatter goes through, Mayhem Academy are going to be able to get this defense. Shax also has the Graviton Surge. Which one will we see first? I think right now they're actually trying to see Montreal Rebellion have an Earth Shatter or grab of their own. They've decided that they probably don't, as their Mayhem Academy are starting to be very aggressive now. The Transcendence is out. The Graviton Surge is as well, and they layered the Transcendence and Sound Barrier. Montreal Rebellion, so they're going to use both ultimates at once. Mayhem Academy read that well.
Yeah, indeed. You saw Paintbrush actually engaging with the sound barrier. Again, something that we don't see very often, but when used selectively can be extremely effective because you're not expecting it. Suddenly, this Reinhardt has gabillion health, right? And that's going to be a frightening thing. Mayhem Academy hold this very easily. They need to use this positioning very wisely, though, because Logix will have a grab before Shax will.
Hello, Earth Shatter looked like it could be big, but it's not going to be anything at all. Montreal Rebellion, though, their health is much better, worse than Mayhem Academy's right now. As Tensa's going to be eating that grab. That is a visual bug. It can show up as an Earth Shatter, Self-Destruct, or a Sound Barrier. That really is an eaten grab for those folks at home a little confused. Mayhem Academy still have an ultimate. It's a good one.
Yeah, they're gonna have a grab right here. They dropped out. Oh, what a shatter!
All you need is the one, right? If you shatter someone and you get that one kill, that's good enough, especially in a trade situation like that. No Reinhardts on either side. Tensa, though, getting down. This is Mayhem Academy's fight to lose. Montreal Rebellion are going to have to try one more time. And, you know, we don't see this very often. Streets phase, where we're seeing our defenses.
Very often we see them holding on the catwalk rather than right above point A, but it's so good you can shell down onto the attackers as they exit spawn, and sometimes you just get that pick. Epps really pulling things out of nowhere today. Questionable timing in last season. He's definitely improved right there, and his fragging ability as well, showing up big for Mayhem Academy.
Mayhem Academy still holding on Streets phase. Used to joke that Streets phase lasted as long as a blink because a lot of teams would get there through their momentum on point A, but already about 2.5 minutes off the clock. So regardless of what happens here, that's a victory for Mayhem Academy, as they're going to get a ton of, they're not going to get a ton of time if they cap the second point to get to the last point, Montreal Rebellion. So Mayhem Academy also do have 5 ultimates at their disposal. Look at Montreal Rebellion, just the 4. And so Mayhem Academy going to get shattered, though. 3 members on the ground with the support ultimates are there, and in the tizzy of that fight, Nomi is going to get self-destructed, but traded with Fact Fiction on the other side. So this is a 5v5, no Reinhardts. Rallies going on both sides. Transcendences are gone. Tensa will have that sound barrier soon, so they're going to want that pick before Tensa's able to get that sound barrier. Is Hui going to be taking Manitin out of the mech and then through the game? Mayhem Academy finally faltering here on this defense here on Junkertown, but look at this. Less than a minute on the clock for Montreal.
They gotta clean things up quickly right there. Epps stayed alive much longer than he had any right to, just throwing out orbs. I mean, Nomi even went down in the duration of that push. So Montreal are going to be able to claim this point B, but very little time to finish out the 3rd point. Those 2 fidget spinners, it's very difficult in order to finish that out. 2 minutes for Montreal to get things done. Logix, he's going to have that grab at the ready. I really actually liked their rotation, and because they're coming in here, Mayhem Academy have to set up their defense. They can do it again. Claim that high ground, force Mayhem Academy off.
Reinhardt shield is perfect here because it's able to block everybody. Look at Nomi go. Amp It Up is there. He's going to be asserting himself into the other team, but Nomi get taken very low because of it. He was able to grab a lot of Earth Shatter charge there. That could have been the reason why they did it. Earth Shatter coming from Mayhem Academy. Not going to do anything. Factfish getting a little low. Mayhem Academy do have Transcendence and Graviton Surge, which they're going to throw out right now. Transcendence coming out of Goliath to counter it. No kills just yet. Naga and Wub are going to use their rallies at the same exact time, but now Montreal Rebellion going to have an Earth Shatter self-destruct of their own. Tensa going down. Nomi going to be going down as well. Mayhem Academy are going to be winning out on this defense. And if Montreal have a bright spot here, it's the self-destruct and Earthshatter are going to be available for this next fight.
A great combo. Doesn't always have to be the grab, but Fact Fiction. Oh man, he wanted that kill. And not just the kill, but the space as well. He can gatekeep Montreal Rebellion right here, who have to plow through so many green bodies before they can even get onto the payload. That's going to force poor positioning, regardless of how hard Montreal tries. Mayhem Academy, though, they don't want what happened to them to happen, or what happened to Montreal to happen to them, so no picks. They're going to cede a little bit more space. And Reinhardt's, do you believe that Reinhardt's can fly?
Yeah. As much as pigs can fly, but I'm seeing it right here, right now. So who are we going to get that self-destruct kill for Montreal? This is going to be the first fight win they've had in a very long time, but with 24 seconds on the clock, if they're going to finish this map, it will be in overtime. So Mayhem Academy could actually give a little space.
Undoubtedly, especially since Epps just got trans. He's the last one to die right there, but he wisely held his hand because he knows that Logix will have this grab to try and finish out this very last fight. Many teams have let their defenses fall apart in the very last seconds of this map. Mayhem Academy don't want to be a statistic.
Logix gonna have that Graviton Surge Goliath. We'll have the Transcendence. That Transcendence is gonna be a huge shield for Montreal Rebellion. He's gotta find good value out of that as Logix gonna be throwing up that Graviton Surge, and Nomi's gonna get the pick onto Shaxx. This is an opening for Montreal Rebellion. Fact Fiction was stunned. A good sound barrier to save Fact Fiction's life. Unfortunately, Shaxx is gonna have to wait a little while longer to come back because overtime spawns have initiated. They do get Logix off of the field. Epps going down too, though. Remember, it is overtime spawns are longer, but the defense are still gonna have the advantage there. Mayhem Academy getting separated from each other right now. So Earthshatter coming from Fact Fiction is gonna grab 4. Montreal Rebellion had some hope, and Fact Fiction took it away from them. Round 1 complete. Montreal Rebellion can win or lose this game on their defense.
Those are the two options.
Those are both things,
Those
correct?
are two options available on Escort. We have yet to really see a tie, although technically possible. But Montreal Rebellion, again, mark of a young team. We're just going to say that. Inconsistency started so strong once they got that rotation through and they started playing those fights as if they believed they could win them. That is the feeling that I have gotten consistently, not just in the Mayhem v Montreal game, but the earlier series as well. In Legion, the way that they changed after halftime, they started approaching fights as if they were questioning their ability to succeed. And when you come into fights like that, there's already so much chaos. There's already so many things that could go wrong. You have that extra added, mental hump that you have to overcome. Montreal Rebellion, they're still in that journey.
It almost feels like they just need more reps, right? Because a lot of what they're doing is you can tell what they've practiced and what they haven't. What they've practiced looks good. What they haven't practiced doesn't, right? And they're just situations in Overwatch you can't practice, right? And so I think Montreal Rebellion just needs a little bit more reps. And again, individually, we've seen things from everyone on the team. Like, legitimately, every single person. It's just sometimes when you put all of those people together, there's also a need for that kind of learning as well.
Especially with GOATs, I absolutely agree with ZP's tweet, it's forced players and teams to approach a team game very differently. Positioning, comms, helping out each other, rotating those cooldowns, all part of playing a really good GOATs game. Montreal Rebellion not going to give Mayhem Academy much space here, holding very close to spawn. So Mayhem Academy charging out here, not going to be surprised at all. This is kind of par of the course for many teams these days. Nomi, though, who already has the ally bubble on him, that's burned. He manages to find Wub.
We actually haven't seen the defenses take the victory in these close-up fights because they don't need to, as Epps is going to get 2 more kills. Montreal actually finding a little bit more out of this defense than Mayhem Academy on their offense. But what you're seeing here is they got value. They're ceding the space. They've taken time off the clock.
Undoubtedly, Mayhem Academy right now going to be feeling pretty good. Fact Fiction way closer to the Earthshatter than Nomi, and that's any kind of advantage that you have, especially in the very early stages of this map. Going to be a big for the attackers right here. Montreal Rebellion, again, they want to save their shields. Nomi doesn't want to, have that barrier break when he most needs it, so that's why they're hiding around this corner, just using the map geometry to try and take a little bit of pressure off.
Oh, the pin is going to go through onto Fact Fiction, who's taken low, 129 HP at a point, but still is alive. Has the Earthshatter available. The only ultimate for Mayhem Academy is Wub is going to go down. I'm questioning this sub right now, but Earthshatter is going to be going up on both sides. A lot of people taking naps, but one team's going to take a better nap, and that's going to be Mayhem Academy as they're going to nap at spawn.
Yeah, one of them is sleeping with the fishes. Mayhem Academy.
In the desert of Junkertown.
In the desert of Junkertown. Yeah, I'm sure there's tons of dead fish around, right?
From, like, dinosaur age, probably. Like, from prehistory.
But fact fiction, I don't know. I don't know about that Earth Shatter right there. I'm not quite sure if he thought he could catch Montreal by surprise, but that's one ultimate down the tube and nothing for it. I do question this sub. Wub! Oh, man, just a sliver of health right there. Manages to stay alive. He's going to have the rally to pop soon and give Mayhem a little bit more of an advantage, but he has certainly not been as aggressive as Bangachu.
Well, you know, sometimes that style actually fits better for certain maps, and maybe that's why the sub actually came in. I'd be willing to ask Mangachu what's going on as Manitin is going to block Logix's grab. Who are we going to get the self-destruct kill onto Eps, though? So this is still interesting. Montreal Rebellion still can take this defense, but they've got to do something about it. Right now, they're letting Mayhem Academy turn this corner and create the tempo themselves. Montreal Rebellion going to be trying to push that away as the Graviton Surge coming from Mayhem Academy is going to be countered by the Earthshatter from Nomi. Wub going to be taken down. Mayhem Academy's going to fall by the wayside right before this first point. We might be looking at a potential Game 5 situation as there's only 1 minute and 19 seconds left on the clock.
Please don't curse us, Boop. Mayhem Academy right now, again, you know, just not as disciplined as we've come to expect from a team who nearly held the record for map wins. As we saw Wub getting bodied away from the rest of his team. That was good play by Montreal Rebellion, but the follow-up, the grab investment, the self-destruct investment as well from Manitin, all very questionable moves from Mayhem Academy, who could have an excellent bigger bang combo to try and get point A right now.
All right, Graviton Surge is going to be locking a lot of Mayhem Academy. Look at Fact Fiction go, and the Transcendence escorting him all the way to the payload. I like that. Mayhem Academy on this offense are going to be able to grab this first point. Montreal Rebellion aren't going to last for much longer. At this point, just die because you're feeding ult charge to Mayhem Academy to potentially rock through Street's face.
You always have to be thinking not just about the fight right in front of you, but the third, fourth fight that will be coming your way. So Montreal Rebellion are going to cede that space, but a couple of unlucky supports have gotten the bad spawn. May escape with their lives, but no, Nomi won't. Mayhem Academy. Oh, somebody's got to be on the payload, though. Somebody needs a designated driver. There we go, getting a little bit of distance, as the objective is important here. Montreal Rebellion got to gather themselves.
Man, these teams really, I know that was an offensive push, right? But it's still, there's just something that feels bad about when you win a fight and the payload's not moving, right? It just feels like, again, a waste of time, and there's better ways to maximize it. Mayhem Academy are going to have to realize what those are in order to make that even better. I'm being nitpicky between like an 8 and a 9, right? But that's still room for improvement. Oh, the stun coming in! The self-destruct, though, not going to find anybody, but Nomi's going to find Ed, send him back to spawn, and are we going to see another defense here on Streets phase? Montreal Rebellion is telling me yes. Mayhem Academy, though, coming in with 5 ultimates.
And got a ton of free distance, too. They've managed to get past that very first choke right after point A, which is the favorite holding ground of defenses everywhere. So they've actually done quite well for themselves. Montreal Rebellion were forced to take the fight off of the payload, and so they gave a lot of free distance. And actually coming back into their next defense, not looking so hot in terms of ultimates either. We got to see some stellar play right here from Montreal Rebellion in order to hold.
Nomi survived the shield bash. Paintbrush not going to survive the engagement of this fight. Montreal Rebellion finding themselves on top here. Mayhem Academy still investing these ultimates. After this first pick, just wait until the next one. You'd have Rally available.
There's Mayhem Academy getting a little bit too greedy right here, thinking that they could win every single one of these fights. It's kind of the only explanation I could have for some of these ultimate investments. Because at this point, the payload's kind of backslid to where they would have been if they had gone for a slow push, as Montreal Rebellion have set up camp here. And now Logix has the high ground and the grab at the ready. And even if Eps pops trans, Nomi can still shatter the entire team, and there's nothing Mayhem can do about it.
They call it bungled opportunity. Oh, good eat, though, from a Manitin. I love the different pictures we're getting for these Graviton Surges. Mayhem Academy. That's got, you know, when you eat a grab like that, too, that's going to inject a little bit of enthusiasm into your attack as well, because a player just made a big play. You're going to feel good about that coming into this fight. Is Nomi going to Earthshatter 4 of them to the ground? But Eps is not one of them, so the Transcendence is going to be enough, as you saw no one losing HP at all. Montreal Rebellion going to have to use the sound barrier, just like Mayhem Academy should have won that last fight. Montreal Rebellion should have won this one, but I think they could be pulling this out in the end. Manitin going down, but Nomi going down on the other side. Shaxx very close to that Graviton Surge. surge, and Wub is going to have this rally. Shaxx going down,
Shaxx,
though, is going to keep Mayhem Academy potentially from grabbing this second point. Mayhem Academy are going to need to make something happen. And look at this. The payload is moving right now. They got to get back to it. Wub is not going to keep it going. And we're going to go to our third Game 5 of the night. This time, Mayhem Academy and Montreal Rebellion will be participating on Oasis.
Whoop, Montreal.
John Cena sounds.
Da, 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 da. Ah, man, Montreal, when you thought that there was no way that they could hold that defense, what a great play. I mean, even though...
I have opinions about that.
All right. They were offered an opportunity. There's a plate of cookies right in front of you. You just gotta reach out and eat those cookies. And chocolate chip, too, not those disguised raisin cookies. So,
okay, that's not what we're talking about.
I mean, even though Logix was, I guess, running a soup kitchen for Hungry Divas and just giving up his grabs constantly, getting a mate.
So, okay, I've been waiting to use this analogy for a really long time. And
I'm ready.
I'm not going to lie. That's like when you watch two 5-year-old soccer teams going against each other, right?
And you're like, this is competitive.
Yeah, but why? Why
they're
is it
5.
competitive?
They're both 5.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit of that coming in there.
A little.
That was not Mayhem Academy's best luck by far. And not to harp on it, but, you know, Wub is a great player, right? Wub has performed in the past, but...
I cast him all the way back in Open Division playoffs. He was awesome.
Yeah, he
Great
still is
Genji.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's just like in a situation like that, I question, like in a match point scenario, Megachu is really, really good, right? And also, if you get provided opportunities to play other characters, right? If Megachu's on the field, Wub needed to get that hook. If Wub gets a hook at the beginning of that defense on Roadhog, everything is different. But now we're here on Oasis.
Yeah, well, Oasis is still a good map type for really either of these teams to try and show their stuff. I'm really curious if we are going to see a Mugachu taking to the air. I would, if I was the coach, definitely say, let's give it a shot. We thought that we were going to change things up by putting Wub in. He plays a really different play style. You know, Montreal may get taken off guard, but it didn't end up working for Mayhem. And now, you know, you took Li Jiang. Go back to the basic. Go back to those foundations that worked out so well for you.
And Li Jiang was weird, if you guys remember. It was 100 to 0 and then 0 to 100 for the first 2 rounds, which is more common here on Oasis as the map kind of lends itself to that. But here on Oasis, anything can happen. Remember, control is when the lesser team, right, has a better chance. And in this situation, in Game 5, is there even a lesser team?
The playing field is literally even. Perfectly symmetrical in
Man,
all of
this
these
is like been a cast
maps.
about facts all through today, even from ZP to Vast.
I'm just, you know, we're just factoidians.
Education, right? Educational. Good stuff. Montreal Rebellion going to be repping Naga on that Sombra right now. Logic's on Tracer.
All right. Getting ready to put our hands together and say thank you, Mr. Logix, but Shaxx already reading potentially the cards, the clouds, something about the air. He felt there might be a chance to flashbang, stun, one shot, kill a Tracer who we've barely ever seen on this map type in recent years. So Naga also may fall prey to the McCree flashbang, but the biggest thing that Mayhem Academy have to keep aware of is McCree's require a lot of protection. He's got one roll and his knees aren't so good, so he needs his team to be giving him those resources to be maximally effective.
Nomi jumped into the backline and then immediately got stunned, but the healing is there. It's going to be a lot easier with the Moira on the field. And look at this, already 65%. By the time I finish the number, it's already gone up by 10% to Coalescence. And so Montreal Rebellion rocking this team comp really, really well. Shaxx, though, going to be taken down right before Deadeye comes to fruition. Mayhem Academy going to be losing out this first point, and this map specifically, we've talked in the past about first take advantage. This one has the biggest one.
Because City Center is so spread, and you have that massive Fabergé egg right in the middle, it separates, it creates a huge amount of wide open space, and especially when Montreal is running as mobile of a composition as Tracer, you know, Tracer, Sombra, Diva, Winston, Mayhem Academy is going to have a hard time just simply eliminating every single one of these players. So they got to come in here, they got to hit hard, because Montreal Rebellion could easily stretch this into a 99-0 territory.
Naga was detected, got booped out of the way, but that's only a temporary thing. The EMP will be set up here, and everyone will stop in the name of love right when the EMP does come out. So Mayhem going to go ahead and use the rally, not going to be affected by that EMP. Propaganda is useless, everyone. Fact Fiction going to be taking that first kill, though, even though the hacks came onto them. So EMP not going to find anything of value. Mayhem Academy still have 2 ultimates. Nomi, though, with this Primal Raging Winston, going to keep this going. So the stall on this point particularly is much easier on other ones. So Primal Raging Winston, so valuable. These divas can be very valuable. They got through that first test, which is 2 tests now, getting through both of those tanks. Now it's about taking everyone else down. This is something that Gladiators Legion in the last game had a really hard time with, and we saw what happens when you're unable to do it.
Naga forced to translocate out, and that will be Mayhem wrenching control from Montreal Rebellion. 62%, certainly not bad, but with all of the ultimates that Mayhem have built in that duration, and these are all highly impactful ultimates. Not to say that we don't love tracers or, you know, pulse bombs, but doesn't do quite as much damage as it used to, just about 300, and landing it is still such a big test of skill that you're going to find more consistency with these tank ults.
Self-destruct to start things out. We don't see fights this early very often as they're holding very close to spawn. Fact Fiction racing all the way back to the objective that Mayhem Academy were able to take a little while ago. Montreal Rebellion coming in with 2 ultimates, though. Paintbrush has the sound barrier.
Epps very close to the trance as well. You saw Fact Fiction was trying to create an opening for Maniton's bomb to find a Montreal member. Couldn't quite get to that disruption going, but he's holding on to the high ground here, and Shax is holding on to 80% to trance.
The Tickle Cannon has been unleashed. Tickles all around for Montreal Rebellion, and he's really, Fact Fiction really wants to get back to that Primal Rage. We saw how valuable it can be. A sound barrier going to be used during this fight. Transcendence on the other side going to be used as well, and so we're not really seeing that bigger bang combo because the Divas do not have their ultimates. Who just got theirs. Logix does not have that Graviton Surge just yet. Does get stunned. The shields are gone, but the health pack is theirs. Logix will stay alive as Nomi going to be taken down after a long initial engagement that Mayhem Academy have owned the point through, and it looks like they might continue doing that as they do get that first pick on Montreal Rebellion. This fight is still going on, however. The self-destruct is going up. Logix was taken low and now is down. Montreal Rebellion, though, get a return kill onto Shax, so no Zarya's on either side. Good armor pack from that Brigitte there as the Primal Raging Winston is going to try to get some car energy on his side. Is he going to get it? Is the car going to get value? Is the car going to...
Oh, no! Fact Fiction, not like this! Oh, no. It was looking so good. And you know what happened in the middle of all of that shenanigans? Montreal flipped the point. 80% now for this Canadian Academy team.
5-year-olds playing soccer. So Mayhem Academy, Montreal Rebellion are deadlocked in this game right now. 90% for Montreal Rebellion. This is last fight territory for both teams right now, as Megachu going to be using Rally to enter the point with the Graviton Surge, going to make that a lot harder. Epps going to be using that Transcendence, and then the Earthshatter is going to come during the Transcendence. Wanted to use that a little bit better, but we're able to grab some people and stun them, but hey, that's just a consolation prize. Transcendence now coming from Montreal Rebellion, and another eaten grab now. Grab's getting eaten all over the place. This time, Montreal Rebellion will get their snacks in, and they're going to get the round win because of some car shenanigans, unable to finish off the kills, and now Montreal Rebellion are going to be on match point for the first ever victory in North American Contenders against our #1 team.
Whew. Can we actually get some DJ Khaled in here? You played yourself. Oh no. Oh,
Boo.
Oh no, Fact Fiction. Here's the thing. Anytime you're primal raging, it's so easy to tunnel in. I do this all the time, so I feel that, and it's very natural. You have these big arms, you have fists, you want to use them. However, you have to be thinking, not only are you going to be able to confirm this kill for yourself, but in your absence, what's happening to your backline? What's going on in the point? Is everybody dying, right? And unfortunately, Fact Fiction wasn't able to get back to his team. He was so hungry chasing Tensa, who, you know,
that ragdoll too was so good.
Oh gosh,
it's one of the better ragdolls I've seen in a while.
You hear the car impact noise, like, and then you're like, is it, oh my god, is it Tensa?
Is the car going to find value? And then a cartwheeling Winston. Anyway, we're already on our second game. And like you said, it's like the absence of you is punishing them right now. So Mayhem Academy
tanking's all about positioning.
Trying to right the wrongs. Look at this. Epps going to be switching over to Zenyatta after Montreal actually do get the point presence first.
Okay, so an advantage for Montreal, who are already guarding that high ground here. Goliath looking for volleys right now. Mayhem Academy, should they choose to engage, they got to do it very carefully. Neither of these teams really any ultimates or any ultimate charge to speak of.
Good particle barrier, keeping him alive through the stun. It's also pretty good as well. Montreal Rebellion not going to be doing as good this time around as the last round. Good pin, though, from it. Nomi. Mayhem Academy, though, do lose out the point, even though Montreal Rebellion have lost out the numbers right now. So Mayhem Academy are just looking to clean things up, use that mop, get that broom, swipe them away. You got it.
Mayhem Academy now, they decided to go for the better fight, not just the first fight right in front of them. Unfortunately, Montreal Rebellion, even though Nomi himself and his shield were both healthy, we still saw Naga fall first. So Mayhem Academy with that man advantage still push in, and they're going to have this rally to get Eps up to that trance.
This is what they were missing with Blood. This exact thing. We saw it from Mangachu's point of view. Did the rally, just went ahead from the other team, looked for that stun. The Montreal Rebellion showing that, hey, even though you have that, it doesn't matter because we know your style. Montreal Rebellion are going to grab a couple ticks, but Nomi gets taken very low. The Transcendence comes in at the right time to make sure the Reinhardt does stay alive, but they're not going to have it for when the grabs who come online next. Logics will get theirs first. Is Fact Fiction going to be taken down from Mayhem Academy, who still own this point? This is now stall territory for Mayhem Academy, but here on Oasis, just like on any other map, the stalls are a little bit easier for the team that owns the objective, and we're seeing that right here, right now, as no one from Mayhem Academy has been a casualty so far, and actually they're getting Nomi, and so now they're all of a sudden, they were playing from behind, and now they are ahead on this fight. Mayhem Academy are going to use that Graviton Surge. Logix is going to get his eaten. Mayhem Academy coming out on top.
Soup Kitchen for Divas.
A lot of Eden grabs today.
A lot of grabs. A lot of well-fed off-tank players. And while Paintbrush only caught 3 members of his team with that sound barrier, it gave them that buffer, that room to play with. They could absorb Montreal's aggression. And because of it, they are now coming into that one-fight territory where Montreal have to make something happen right now. The Shatter Bomb combo could be it.
But will it be HamTornado? Mayhem Academy are going to use that rally to escort the rest of the team, and Eps holding on to that Transcendence till the most valuable point because they have to win this round to keep themselves in this. But Nomi going to get the kill onto Megachu. Is this a flip potential? Earthshatter going down is going to be a huge one. That is a fatty shatty, my friends. As Manachin going to grab 2 kills. Mayhem Academy are not going to lose this right here, right now. We're going the distance again on our 3rd round of our 5th map of Control.
Oh, Fact Fiction, he's going for the whole redemption arc. Died to a car in the first round of Oasis, and just you watch on University, he's going to get a fat 6-man shatter and clinch it for his team. I don't know. Both of these sides yo-yoing back and forth between utter shambles and complete domination.
Well, and it's funny because sometimes you're dominant together, and we get like a really awesome team fight.
A really competitive fight.
Yeah, and this, again, that just goes back to our talk about consistency. Right? Even the fights and how they're won and lost aren't very consistent. And that's something the OWL teams have gotten on lock. New York Excel, very, very good example of that.
Vancouver Titans.
Yeah, they know exactly how to win and how to lose fights. And that's also something I think these Contenders teams can really start trying to practice.
Oh, actually, that's an excellent point. Your disengage is almost as key as how you start the fight. You cede so much ultimate charge if you're dying willy-nilly, piecemeal here and there. So that will be on both of these teams' minds as, oh, Fact Fiction taking a beating right here, gets stunned, and somehow lives.
It is a Royal Rumble right now on the objective. Mayhem Academy going to find first blood, throwing him right out of the ring. 6v5 now for Mayhem Academy, and they have come alive. Junkertown was just, you know, a figment of our imagination right now. So was the first round of Oasis as they dominate Montreal Rebellion on that first fight. Love it.
I look at the difference between the Reinhardts right now. You could talk about, you know, Ultimate Generation. Fact Fiction is a little bit ahead, but when he was low, the resource that he received from his team, not just in terms of armor pack, but the actual peel, that's what put him ahead of Nomi, who is dead once again.
Man, watching these Reinhardts get absolutely bullied and somehow are still alive by the end of all this fight, and then they Earthshatter and take the picks, the fire strikes as well. Life of Reinhardt right now is interesting. Oh! Tensa gonna, actually, so it's gonna be Logix getting the kill credit, but there was some displacement. Was it just a grenade?
I'm not quite sure. Maybe Tensa with his dying breath. he died before he could get credit for the kill. I'm not quite sure, but regardless, Montreal now do have some window of engagement. Logic's ready with this grab. You see Ev still has that trance, so fairly even here. Montreal need to go for that clean fight, and by the time they decide to pull the trigger, it gets 8.
I saw a white health bar go through the hole, and then Logic is going to go through the defense matrix with that Graviton Surge. Have we seen one on the field recently? Because these divas, you know, it's a buffet out there.
I was gonna say we could start like a list just like the hammer kills with like Eaton grabs, but we would run out of paper. We gotta be, you know, environmentally friendly here, folks. The Montreal Rebellion again now staring down, almost 70% gone from the chances here on University. They have to engage here, and now the grab is no longer an option.
No grab, not a lot of hope really for Montreal Rebellion, but hey, there's still 4 ultimates, potentially 5. Tensa will be getting that sound barrier. Earthshatter coming from Nomi, not going to find the value that they want. Self-destructs from both sides. Nothing. There is a pin that did go down. Nomi is out of this round so far. Mayhem Academy are up 65 right now. F's is still going to have that Transcendence. The health bars for Montreal Rebellion are depleting. There is absolutely no hope for them to come back here. Mayhem Academy avoid the upset against Montreal Rebellion and stay undefeated through this contender season, but this one was a little bit more of a challenge.
Definitely interesting. Montreal playing with their darndest here. You even have Goliath on the Tracer now just to tag in, but unfortunately, this wick will burn down eventually, and overtime will cease. Mayhem Academy is still scrapping things out. They're finally going to be able to finish their plate once they demech this Diva and burn down the Hammond. And again, they're so back and forth. Finally, self-destruct is the cherry on top.
Mayhem Academy winning out 3-2 on our third 5-game set of today. Congratulations to Mayhem Academy. Montreal Rebellion fall to 0-3 for the season. And this is just like, I feel like they're cursed, and this is the reason. It's because they keep losing these games, but they're so close, every one of them. Even the 4-0s that they've lost, like we said before, those maps were close. They just can't seem to tie it up and clean it up at the end.
Exactly. Just needs a little bit of spit shine, right?
Yep.
And again, so many great moments, but the focus fire from Mayhem, the way that they burned Nomi down in so many of those fights, put them over the edge, and that was the key. That was kind of that special sauce that Montreal Rebellion have yet to kind of brew up. But we cannot discount this team. As difficult of a time as they've been having so far, we are, you know, about halfway through the season. There's still potential for them to pull things back. We hearken to 2018's last season, Team Envy, right? Still managed to get into playoffs at the very end.
Almost beat Fusion Uni.
Almost beat Fusion University.
That's honestly probably one of like my favorite games like ever. And so like go back and watch that one. That one is really good, and that just goes to show like Fusion University hasn't changed since last season outside of Karkar on their support, right? And Karkar was playing at that time.
Yeah, best friends with 5-game sets.
Yep. And so now we're looking ahead a little bit for Mayhem Academy. Their next game is against Second Wind, and they're up above Fusion University right now in terms of map win-loss differential. So this is something that I think like a lot of people might. All of this is a little interesting, to be completely honest with you. Mayhem Academy at the top, and then Montreal Rebellion being 7th. I think a lot of people thought they might be able to take a win or two, and then honestly, Second Wind being 2-1 is a little bit of a surprise as well.
Undoubtedly, Uprising Academy were looking so hot at the beginning of this season, and again, a team that had all the right parts and are still just, you know, working out how best to put that together. Montreal Rebellion, same on paper, all of these players stand out in their own way, but Blue Apron, you can't just eat all those ingredients raw, gotta cook them up.
Exactly. And so, and looking ahead too, so Second Wind and Mayhem Academy are going to be the Monday game for next week for Mayhem Academy. That's, you know, the schedule gets harder and harder for Mayhem Academy, or Fusion University gets a little bit more of a mix. But the thing for Montreal is we're going to get a 7th and 8th place matchup next week as well.